Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Football Fallout. This episode is all about the wide receivers. If you're new to the show, here's what I do quickly. I break down who was projected to score well in Week 9. I look at what happened, who were the stars from Week 9, and how does it relate to waiver wire pickups for Week 10, and also projecting throughout the rest of the NFL season. I also give out my NFL awards, and for the wide receivers, for the wide receivers this week, we have a Kicked in the Nuts award, a Dumpster Vomit award, and yes, we have an I'm Watching You award. So somebody's on my radar, get in on that action early. We have the waiver wire pickups towards the end of the episode as well. Before we get rolling here, I always say this: if you could give me 2 seconds of your time for 2 clicks, a like, and a subscribe. The sooner we become a YouTube partner, the better we can make these videos because some features actually get unlocked for us, some production features, so we're really eager for that. But let's dig in here. Let's look at the projected top 10 coming into Week 9 from ESPN. In order, you have DeAndre Hopkins, Chris Godwin, Kenny Golladay, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Julian Edelman, Tyler Lockett, Amari Cooper, who's in white because as of the recording of this video, he has not played yet, DJ Chark, and Allen Robinson. So who actually scored well? Who actually finished in the top 10? The ones in white were the ones that ESPN got correct from their projected top 10. You have Tyler Lockett, Mike Evans, DK Metcalf. So 2 of the top 3 receivers as of the recording of this video are Seahawks. Tyreek Hill, Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones Jr., 5 and 6. So 2 Lions against the Raiders there. Emmanuel Sanders, Preston Williams, Andy Isabella, Mohamed Sanu. So yeah, there's a lot of kind of surprises in the top 10. Although if you looked at the matchups, and you looked at, the secondaries and some of these teams, not exactly a surprise. I will say, though, Andy Isabella cracking the top 10 was a big shocker for me. Before we roll into the waiver wires, let me give you my Week 9 superlatives. You kicked me in the nuts. Keenan Allen, you kicked me in the nuts. Now, everybody, if somebody else kicked you in the nuts, did somebody beat your roster down that you weren't expecting to? Were you playing Andy Isabella and you lost the game because of that? You let me know. I want to hear it in the comments below. Keenan Allen, man, I thought this matchup was going to be good for him. I didn't know if he was going to get in the end zone, but I thought this was going to be the kind of Keenan Allen game where he pulls in like 15 receptions. Green Bay did a great job, so credit them. Keenan Allen, daily fantasy-wise, that was a little bit of a heartbreaker for me. Now, same game, Dumpster Vomit Award goes to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. My goodness, man. Like, somebody else other than Devontae Adams has to show up here. Now, Valdes-Scantling has flashed. He's flashed some potential, but I got to say, out of all these Packers wide receivers, my favorite one outside of Devontae Adams is the Lazard guy. I mean, he looks the most physically imposing. He looks better. I think he needs more opportunities in this offense. Valdes-Scantling and Geronimo Allison, I'm sick of hearing about the potential. I want to see it consistently on a week-to-week basis. And the I'm Watching You award, everybody on your radar right now, not only should Devontae Parker from the Dolphins be on your radar, Preston Williams, I've been talking about him for a couple of weeks. He's a very physically imposing player. I almost liken him to maybe a DJ Chark in Jacksonville. Huge guy, just a prototypical. If you could craft and sculpt a wide receiver out of marble or something, import Michelangelo, get a time machine, and say, hey, give me a wide receiver. Preston Williams is the dude. I mean, he's very physically imposing. The problem is the Dolphins have kind of sucked so far, but they're getting better. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, ever since they went back to him at quarterback, they're playing a little bit better. So Fitzpatrick, yeah, he's up and down. He's a backup quarterback, in terms of ability. But he had a nice 3-touchdown game against the Jets. Preston Williams played very, very well. You need to start thinking about him. I'm not saying you necessarily need to pop on him, but if you're in a deeper league, stash him. And that really brings me to my waiver wire pickups. My top 5 for the wide receivers this week as of Monday morning. It's Marquise Brown, who I think is fantastic. The Patriots did a decent job of locking him in. Gilmore for the Patriots was covering him all game, so I didn't think he was going to have a nice game. In fact, that could actually benefit you because he came back. He might actually, in the 61.4% owned, he might actually drop a little bit. That tends to happen after the Patriots play some teams. Even though they won, Brown didn't really excel in terms of just receiving yardage and statistics. Number 2 on my list is Hunter Renfrow. He was on my I'm Watching You list last week. He followed up and had another nice game. I like Renfrow. I'm going to probably try to dig him up in my league depending on what happens in the waiver wire. Number 3 is Mohamed Sanu. I like what he's doing in New England. Tom Brady's throwing to him. He found the end zone this week. Big guy, and he blocks well, so he stays on the field for New England. I like him. You should probably be looking at him as well. Mike Williams for the LA Chargers, 54.9% owned. I like him a lot, guys. I mean, he's big. He had a nice receiving game, so I think he can get you, into the promised land. He really hasn't fulfilled fulfilled his potential yet on the Chargers, and I hate when we're in we're going to be in week 10 and still hasn't fulfilled his potential. But Rivers looks for him. He had a nice yardage game against the Packers, so there you go. Number 5 on my list is Preston Williams. 53.1% of the leagues own him. Like I said, Fitzpatrick's doing well, but he's only going to do as well as this Miami Dolphins offensive line allows Ryan Fitzpatrick time to throw to him. Ryan Fitzpatrick, look, he's not the best in the world, but Preston Williams, he's a red zone threat. So if the Miami Dolphins get in the red zone 2 to 3 times a game, he's going to be a touchdown candidate in those weeks. So there you go. That takes me through the wide receivers this week. Please check out other videos. I do every position outside of kicker. So I have quarterbacks, running backs, tight ends, and defense and special teams. Check us out another episode. Please always like and subscribe. Let me know who kicked you in the nuts, everybody. And then we'll be back again with another episode soon. Thanks, everyone.